hear the door open, turn around, he's walking at me with a Glock in his hand.
It smelled like 3 dogs died. Little kid pulled a gun on me. Hi there, welcome to Real Sales Dynamics. We break down in-field sales footage in order to get you better at door knocking. I am in lovely California. Yes, I'm back. Not only that, I'm back with some of the best door knockers in the entire nation.
Here's Johnny.
And they're all selling here. Yeah, here. The place is the most saturated place in the entire country where no one can make any money anymore. Well, guess what? They're making $150,000 a month. It's insane. You're gonna learn all the tips and tricks that gets these legends to become legendary right now. So obviously we're door knocking for solar in Vegas. What are the biggest differences you're seeing right now versus, let's say, selling in like 2018 when you first got out here?
So interesting, dude. So I've been doing solar for 10 years in Vegas in 2015. Back in 2015, there was really only 3 companies. It was Sunrun, it was Vision, and Vivint Solar. So it's kind of crazy because back in the day, you would have to do 5, 6, 7, 8 times the amount of volume that people have to do today because of how much commissions have increased. So yes, the maturity of solar has increased over the last decade of solar, but back in the day, I only used to be able to make $250 a kilowatt max in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now we're making upwards of 700, 800. So the question that I ask people, Carlos, is if commissions have gone up 5, 6, 7x in the last 10 years, how come most reps commissions are still flat?
So what do you think is kind of a limiting factor for reps in Vegas? I mean, you're seeing a lot of these guys, their commissions are flat, even though the amount of money they can make per deal has increased dramatically.
I think people are going to get their comfort zone no matter what. So I believe most people have this financial set point in their mind, meaning that maybe they came in wanting to make $100,000 a year and that's their standard and what they expect to earn. It doesn't matter if it takes 2 deals to make 100K or 8 deals, they're going to get what they truly feel like they deserve in terms of the marketplace. So I think it just has a lot to do with their expectation and standard. Regardless of pay scale, regardless of market, I think people will go out there and only work based on what they expect to make. Therefore, they have to increase their vision. They have to add more proximity of their life to people like yourself to hopefully raise that standard for themselves so they can actually break through that limiting belief of their financial threshold.
So what are 3 things guys can do to get rid of their limiting beliefs and so they can level up in their career in solar?
3 things in my experience. Step number 1, you need to get into a bigger room. You're only gonna earn based on the proximity of the people around you. So if you have a rep in your office, the top rep's making 150K a year, the top leader's making 200K a year, you're never going to out earn that because you're not actually physically seeing the example in real life. Proximity is 100% power. Step number 2 is you need to take massive amount of action in a short amount of time. Most of us, we get so conditioned into our routine that if we don't snap out of it and do certain things to break up the pattern, we're gonna continue to attract the same results. It's literally the definition of insanity. So if you can take massive action in a short amount of time, double your calls, you're gonna end up building that belief. The third thing is you need to tell yourself a new story. A lot of us have this self-image that we've designed over our career in solar where we continue to get the same results because we continue to think the same thoughts. So if you change your story, change your self-image in this industry, that you are a top producer, the results will follow.
So what are the potential imminent changes looking at for solar in Vegas?
So Nevada Energy is such an interesting utility because over the years, they were the only utility that actually shut down completely, and because of consumer choice, they ended up getting back on the system in 2018. But now the PUC, they're trying to persuade them to change it from monthly net metering to every 15-minute net metering, which obviously is less advantageous for the customer. So we're hopeful it doesn't pass, but if it does, we're gonna have to adapt our selling similar to what Arizona did. So 15-minute net metering compared to monthly net metering is definitely not as advantageous to the customer. Therefore, there's a lot of urgency in the market right now. It's gonna make it where the buyback rate, currently right now it's about 75%. No one has the exact science just yet, but it could change to a 50%, 40%. So it's either bigger systems or batteries in Nevada moving forward if the bill does pass.
So what was the biggest shift you saw in the Vegas market when everyone went from 1099s to W2?
So believe it or not, we actually think it was a really good thing to happen to the market. Vegas has been an interesting market for a while, similar to San Diego, where there's been so much concentration, and with that comes a lot of bad actors, installers, sales reps, sales dealers, all the things. So what it did was, we're able to drive true accountability to the rep, because everyone takes advantage of the whole, I'm a 1099, I work for myself. So actually having W2, where a lot of these installers have fixed costs that are going out to these sales reps, we can actually drive true accountability, because now the fixed costs are there, so we can hold people accountable to meetings, standards, and ultimately just doing the job at a high level.
Quick public service announcement. If you're trying to make $100,000 just in the course of 10 days and you want to do it while working with the best people in the solar industry, you need to click down below at flblitz.com. In previous blitzes, we had Ben Grossman, Michael O'Donnell, and a league of other individuals who won the Golden Door Award, getting over 100 to 200 installs in just 1 year. If you want to learn how to do it, you got to work with the best people. Click down below, flblitz.com. So we're out here knocking in California, which a lot of people think of as a saturated market. But Dondre, how many did you end up selling last year?
Last year I did 125 deals.
You did 125 accounts. I believe all of those were self-gen, right?
All those are self-gen, that's correct.
Yeah, so what do you think separates you from others who try to get more as far as like leads rather than just going out there and getting it yourself?
I think if you can go out and stay tenacious, for me, I just always knew like I can control my controllables when I'm in the field. And if I work the hours, there's no reason or no one that's gonna get in my way from hitting my goals.
What advice do you have to people who are worried about California being a saturated market?
So my advice to the people that are worried about California being a saturated market is just get more educated on solar, on the market, right? Understand the structure of the utilities, understand the potential, the upside potential that you have in solar. And now with, more legislative laws in place, we have options such as batteries, right? And storage, which is super important. So once I got sharper on those things and understanding those things at another level, I was able to deliver. When I work the hours, when I'm on the doors, when I'm coaching, training, recruiting, I'm more sharp and I have the slightest edge versus the next guy that doesn't even give themselves the shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, knockout in Florida, you run into dead people, dead dogs, all kinds of crazy stuff on the doors.
What?
What's the most screwed up door you've actually knocked in Cali?
Man, dude, when I knocked on a door in Cali, there's actually a crazy time. I walked into this guy's house and got hit like a brick. Just walking in, and the smell was just absolutely incredible. It smelled like 3 dogs died. It was insane. And I was like, what is going on? Like I left, I closed the deal, by the way, contract signed. This was 2 weeks ago, actually. And
this is new trauma.
New trauma, man. And my shirt smelled like it. I had 2 setters with me. Right when I got in the car, I was going out and showing them the process. They ended up smelling my shirt, which was so crazy. I'm like, that's how where I was at was a fucked up door.
Got it. Fair enough, dude. And when you've been doing your work on, as far as like the objection, right? This is the objection that I feel like 99% of comments are, is this solar?
Yeah.
What's been your go-to response in California for that?
Yeah, so I always go into the problem with solar, right, and explain all the bad things about solar and ask them and confirm, is that what you're referring to? Yeah. So hey, are you the problem with solar is that it used to be really expensive, take money out of pocket, you'd have to get a loan, just all very ugly options. Have you heard of that? And so being able to say, hey, totally feel where you're coming from. This is actually a little bit different. We're actually working on the storage updates. If your home's qualified, yes, we can obviously produce your power on site. It allows you to store your power here at the property. If there's a power outage, you don't lose power, but then also explain to them, hey, these time of use rates, you're actually able to use that power that you generated in the day to then use that power in the evening or during the peak rates. So that's the way that I overcome at the door, the transition back into my pitch. If they ask, is this solar? I don't let it derail me. I just say, hey, the problem with solar is, and I come on their side. I want them to feel that I'm on the same page as them. So
you're proactively scrubbing for the objection so that you can show, I'm already aware of the concern that you have.
Correct.
Right? And here's the solution for the problems that you're not even aware are happening.
Correct.
Right, that's awesome, dude. So you've managed to do 125 accounts in a year.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, in both of our cases, minorities within, whatever's the common parlance, right? Like Hispanic and African American, correct?
African American, yeah. Biracial, black and white.
Black and white, right?
There we go.
And what I find inspiring in a lot of these cases is a lot of people will use their race as an excuse for why homeowners aren't trusting them.
Totally.
Right? But have you actually run into many situations like that at all?
Nah, honestly, never.
Yeah.
And if there's ever been a weird situation, it's always back to me and my energy. How did I show up?
Yeah.
Was I being personable? Was I using my charisma? You know, I know that I have a great smile, a great handshake. So if I can do all those things for free that cost me no money and have the slightest edge versus the next door to door guy, it gives me a better chance to like build that personable relationship where race isn't a thing, religion's not a thing. It's just like you're able to connect on a more personal level. I feel like that's what I shine at when I'm on the doors.
Yeah, like the only time I've actually run into any situation like that, it's because honestly, I egged them on a little bit because I already knew it was a dead door. So I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna kind of make mock you right now. Then they spit out some discrimination. You're like, yeah, well, I came in pretty hot. I gotta be honest. All right, that's what you felt like saying today. It's not a big deal, but it's we're definitely in a space in which like that's really not the biggest issue that you're going to be running into by any means whatsoever. So if anyone's getting caught up in their head, it's like the variable isn't the race thing or anything else. It's you.
Right.
And how are you coming and how are you meeting up with those people? And are you doing the best possible job in the situation?
Right.
If you're a big black man or a big Hispanic man, maybe show yourself as very non-threatening as soon as you start the conversation.
So like what you're also too, if you have those things in your mind, like make sure your appearance is on point too. Like if you are someone like me, African-American tall guy, like I need to wear lighter colors. I need to smell good. I need to have a fresh haircut. Like talk to my, people that I work with and ask, hey, what can I do to improve my approachability? And so that way I'm not getting that variable of, hey, this person might view me a certain way, so I don't want to go solar with them, or I don't want to give them additional information.
For sure.
Yeah, I get guys that are like, why don't people talk to me? Like, dude, you got dreads, your hair ain't chopped. Like, like I wouldn't answer the door, bro. Yeah. If you walked up to the door, are you gonna answer? Hell, probably not,
So going back to that.
Yeah.
Let's say, you do have dreads. You are in that kind of setup.
Yeah.
What are things that guys can do in order to set themselves apart so people, or at least, for the very least, actually open up the door?
Yeah, I would say like, just like your proper gear, like you wanna be in athletic gear, I would recommend, right? You don't need to dress up like you're going to, a funeral or court, but you also wanna still be approachable, have the right colors on, light colors, have proper hygiene, cut your hair, make sure that you're utilizing all the things you can to have the best appearance so you have the best approach, right? First impression is your last impression. And at the end of the day, when you leave that door, how's that customer gonna feel about you? So you need to think about that when you're approaching them. How do I show up that is like in a way that is me, but also approachable?
You did 125 deals in your first like real year in solar.
Yep.
What are 3 things that you think separated you out from the herd?
Yeah, 3 things that helped separate me was have an above average handshake, have an above average excitement to win, and have an above average interest to help others. And I think you'll always find success.
Got it. What do you mean by above average handshake?
A handshake, a friendly handshake.
So like versus a guy that has like a sloppy handshake, right? Go in with the mindset, like I want to have just a better handshake. So what does a better handshake looks like? It means, physically standing up straight, putting my hand out, saying my name loudly. Like it starts with the very small things and like having a large smile, like being excited to win and then help other people. If you can have an above average, ability to help people or a desire to help people, naturally, those 3 things alone will skyrocket your success over time. Yeah. It may not be a direct, impact today, but compounded over time, those 3 things alone will definitely yield more success or abundance.
Was there any silly fears that you had when you initially started door knocking that you immediately realized were wrong pretty quickly? Like mine was I wouldn't talk to people when they're already outside their house, which is insane.
Yeah.
Right? But you see a guy mowing their lawn and you're like, I gotta.
You almost feel bad because you're like, I'm gonna make this guy turn his lawnmower off. And it's like, yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going
now
to
you have a captive audience.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's gonna be a little tense and feel weird.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be some you're not gonna be able to pull through on. Yeah. Some you'll bounce back from. You'll earn their trust. You'll earn their next meeting or their next visit to come by. Yeah. But yeah, I've had some pretty funny encounterments. Really.
You're paid to make it awkward though.
That's it.
That's what our job literally is. We're paid. And the thing is, if we recognize, hey, we have the potential of being able to save this person $300,000, $400,000 over the course of the next 25 years. If we had a $400,000 check to hand that guy on a lawnmower, we would go run up to him and be like, bro, I got $400K to give to you right now.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're being like, well, I don't know, maybe he doesn't really want to talk to me right now.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk to us right now.
Exactly.
Because they don't know us.
Right.
As soon as they meet us, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be all right.
I just think one of the things that helps me, again, keep going, another applicable tip is when silly thoughts like that come into my head, I gotta take a step back and ask myself, if I truly wanna make millions, if I truly wanna make thousands, if I truly want to generate wealth, make an impact, help people, this small, silly circumstance is not valid, you know? And so I go through kind of like a quick process and ask myself, is this aligned with who I am? Is this something that is true? Is this something that I can overcome? So when you ask yourself those questions and you can identify and isolate, it makes it easier to battle those silly situations or tough scenarios, etc.
If you're living in states like Minnesota, North Carolina, or West Virginia, and you're watching all these solar videos thinking, I want to get into the industry, but I can't move right now, you're in luck. We're connecting people in 46 different states with the best solar installers in the nation, as well as the best cultures and teams to work with. Click down below realsalesdynamics.com and we'll teach you how to start making real money for your family like that. We're hanging out with Mike Mayberry. We're knocking currently in California. So you were a paramedic firefighter before this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how did you end up transitioning into solar?
So, a good buddy of ours, Mike Goochman.
Yeah.
He, obviously we all know Mike. Him and I served in the Marine Corps together years and years ago. I started dabbling in solar a few years back, called him up for some advice. Long story short, sold me on coming out to California. Basically sold my house, sold everything I owned, flew on out here.
You got it. Very cool. And what was your best week that you've had since you've gotten into solar?
So yeah, best week was actually recently. It was last month. I did 13 deals in 8 days.
13 deals in 8 days
Yes,
in
sir.
Cali.
Yes,
Fantastic,
sir.
dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because the amount of people I talk to who are like, no, California's completely tapped. It's overly saturated. There's no deals to be had. How are you out there digging?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are just excuses.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of harped on NEM 3 when that happened, and you know, obviously the industry took a hit. A lot of guys left. I showed up during NEM 3, so that's all I know. And I just didn't have those excuses, so I just went out and sold. I learned what I had to learn, and it's working out just fine.
Yeah. So are you doing mostly blitzes right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. So what's your schedule like when it comes to blitzing? Do you literally do it for once 10 days every 3 weeks, or?
Yeah, so blitzes have been incredible for my business and for my reps. Work-life balance is 10 times better, and a lot of us are seeing a lot better financial returns from it. It's basically a 10-day sprint. We go all out for 9 to 10 straight days. We're allowed to focus, 0 distractions, it's just work. And then come home, not necessarily take 20 days off, but it's a lot more laid back, and we get to kind of enjoy the fruits of our labor.
So you've been knocking in, Cali for a year and a half. What's the most messed up deal, or honestly door that you've dealt with?
Yeah, so we all have countless stories like this, but it's funny, the first time I went back to Missouri after moving out to California, we blitzed there for a bit. We were about 3 days into the blitz, knock on a door, no answer, turn around. I'm almost off this guy's driveway. Hear the door open, turn around, he's walking at me with a Glock in his hand.
Nice.
Say hello to my little friend.
So, yeah, that was a nice welcome back home. So I'm wearing a pink polo shirt, have my ID. It's noon, 1 o'clock in a cookie cutter neighborhood. Very obvious that I'm working. I just stopped. I was in such disbelief. I looked at him, I go, dude, are you serious? He's like, well, I don't know what you're doing out here. It's like, it's pretty obvious I'm working.
See, what's funny though is I found that the best way to deal with the guy with the gun or the guy with the knife or any of those is generally just treating them like they're slightly being ridiculous, and it makes it so much less tense. You're like, dude, that's weird. Why are you being weird, dude? That's a really odd thing to do. Back when I worked as a social worker, I had a little kid pull a gun on me. And I was like, hey, that's weird. Like, we don't need to do that. You can just put it down. And then he just put the gun down. Yeah. Like, he just looked at me, I was like, yeah, we're not gonna like murder each other. Yeah, like it seems like an outrageous way to act, doesn't it? Then the idea of you killing me, bother you in some way, like, you don't want to go to jail. I'm a perfectly nice guy. You don't want solar? That's totally fine. Just like no murder today.
I think when I hit him with the dude, it was like a factory reset.
Factory reset. Yeah. You literally factory reset it, dude. True. So before we hit these doors, just real quick, you had a 6-figure job before you decided to jump into door knocking. What is 3 tangible pieces of advice that you can give to people who have real jobs right now who are looking to jump and transition into solar?
Yeah, so anyone like looking at potentially transitioning into something crazy like this, I mean, your W-2 cushy job, you know, you have 80, 120 grand, whatever that may be. Obviously that's gonna be scary. Number one, I would just say, don't be afraid to make the leap.
Yeah.
That's something I did. I came out here, just refused to fail. If you have that goal in mind, if failure is not an option, then you won't fail. You just keep getting back up. You're gonna get knocked down, just keep getting back up. I promise you, we were all young enough to make a change and do something else. Number two, I would say just go all in, no matter what. If you come out here and you're still holding on to things in the past, and I'll keep this connection here, and I'll still work here 1 or 2 days a week, you will not succeed in this. You have to go 100% all in, and I think that's what really separates, you know, those that make it versus those that don't. Number three, I would just say enjoy the ride. You know, it's a lot of fun when you let it be. If you take it super seriously and everything's tense and hostile, it's gonna be tense and hostile. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the ups, enjoy the downs. It's all a part of the process, and just trust it, and I promise you, you will come out on top.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. So we're out here knocking in California right now. I'm with Cam Wallace. What was your best year ever as far as installs?
145.
145 installations. Was that your first year, second year, third year?
That was my third year solar. 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Were a good amount of those self-gen?
Yeah, almost all.
Got it.
Yeah.
What kept you persistent like that whole way through?
Well, number one, it was a glorious time to sell solar because interest rates were just so low. It was, I don't know if we'll ever see a value proposition like that again. So I knew we had to take advantage. And then just big customer base from installing over 100 deals the 2 years prior.
Yeah.
So that plus keeping the same work ethic, you know, referrals on top of door knocks equals a lot of deals.
So how do you keep your referral base happy?
I mean, I don't think it's that hard. You just gotta like prepare them for the worst and then hope for the best. If customers have roof leaks, you know, that stuff did happen. It just kind of, you gotta help them. You gotta get in the trenches with them. But other than that, like just set expectations, and when you do what you say you're gonna do, they're gonna be happy because they signed up based on what you said you were gonna do.
Talk a little bit more shit, right? What are you guys doing wrong when it comes to, you know, after you sell, let's say I sell a deal, right? 90% of reps, what are they doing right after they sell that deal?
I mean, they're leaving it. Number one, when they sell the deal, they're not selling the deal, they're selling the site survey.
Yeah.
Which is mistake number one. Mistake number two is they're just hoping, they sign the deal hoping it goes to install. They have no like systems or processes to ensure it's gonna go to install. And then number three, I think at the close, they're so scared to tell the customer, especially in NEM3 now, everyone has a true-up bill every month, and they're so scared to tell them that. What I've learned is that customers actually buy into solar more when they are getting a $30 or $40 true-up bill, because it becomes more real. Where if it's a negative bill, obviously when they receive it, they're stoked, but when you're sitting across the table from them, they don't understand that because they never had that before.
Yeah.
They understand going from $500 down to $30. They don't understand going $500 to -20, which won't happen in M3 anyways. So you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Got it. What are some of the systems that you use after, let's say, you know, I sign up a lady. I think it's pretty good, but I'm a little iffy, right? There's a little bit of skepticism.
Sure.
First off, what is one good like tie down just to make sure that person's likely to go to installation?
So I'm all about like attack the boogeyman, attack the elephant in the room. And so I'll just say, hey, Carlos, like I only want you signing this deal if you feel like you're a 9 or 10 out of 10 on it. Where are you at right now? You're 8.5, okay, 8.5 is good. Obviously you still want to sign up, but like what's that gut feeling taking you, like knocking us down 0.5?
So basically you just start digging.
Just dig. And then we're so quick to respond. Like they'll hear, hey, XYZ, whatever. Reps are so quick to go show them a bunch of data to try and like sell them. If you're doing that, you're playing defense. If you're asking questions, you're on the offense. And so if they're like, oh, I'm just really, really worried about a roof leak. okay, well, rather than showing them my warranty or my good reviews, ask them, okay, cool, well, if there was a roof leak, like what's the worst case scenario? What does that look like for you? Why do you fear that? And then show, okay, well, if you had a 10-year roof warranty on the roof penetrations, would that give you...
You guys only have 10 years out there?
We have 25 actually.
Nice.
Most,
Okay, good.
most installers don't though. I'm trying to appeal to the masses.
I was like, damn, we got to set you up.
Yeah, no, we got a 25-year roof warranty on some of our some of our contractors.
Yeah.
But all that to say, it's like, I'd rather ask them 3 more questions to get the root of the issue, and then ask them, well, hey, if A, B, and C existed, would that make you feel better?
Yeah.
And then they say yes, and then I go, okay, well, lucky you, today's your lucky day, we've got ABC.
Dude, so you did 145 installations.
Yeah.
What are the things that annoy you that you see from guys
Everything
who are...
annoys me.
Well, I know everything annoys you.
Annoyed grunt, annoyed grunt.
But like, particularly the type of dude who does 6 deals in a month and then out of nowhere feels like entitled.
Oh, God, that's the worst. So, no, like if you're talking about what you did one time, that's bragging. People say it's like, hey, it's not bragging if it's true. Well, if you did it once, then it's bragging. If you've done it repeatedly, then that's like truth, that's confidence. And so I just hate when guys look back at the one time they're in peak state and then use that as their baseline. Like, look back at a large sample size. That's who you are. I think it was Herman Edwards. He said in a post-game interview, he's like, you are exactly what your record says you are. Maybe it's Bill Parcells, doesn't matter. But it's like, hey, what's your record the last 6 months? Because anyone can have a good month or a good quarter. But what have you done the last 6 months? What have you done the last year? That tells me the type of rep you are. So don't come at me with your 6 or 8 month that you did once or twice. Show me that you've done that several times in a row over a long period of time.
Getting 145 installations, and what I found really interesting, like in your career, is that a huge amount of your clientele are not the lower middle income folks.
Right.
You're sitting in front of millionaires. What do you think? What are the differences that you see, and what are some things people should look out for when they're selling that type of client?
Sure. So, a few things. Number one is that these millionaire clients, they often are making the same or less as a lot of the sales reps that are sitting in front of them. And these reps put these people on a pedestal, where it's like you should putting yourself on a pedestal. You're on their level. You're making the same amount of income as them. You're just not as wealthy because you haven't been as smart about it. So number two, you got to get smarter. To get smarter, you got to get educated. In this industry, that means training more. And so learn how to speak the language of your client. I'm not going to talk about interest rates and tax credits to a lower income old lady.
Yeah, a little grandma with like, $90 bills and no actual taxable income.
Right.
You're obviously going to sell those people different.
Right.
But instead you're using...
But rich people, they hate taxes.
Yeah.
And so when they spend money, they want to be in control. They want it to be theirs. And so learning how to speak their language, if you try and sell a multimillionaire on saving $100 a month, they don't give a shit. They spend $100 a month or $100 a week on Mastros, right? Talk to them about the long term and the idea, and speak to their language of energy independence, being in control, whatever it is. So I feel like one thing that set me apart is I speak the language of my clients. I think a lot of reps just don't know how to speak to higher end people.
Now that tax credits are obviously going to go away at the end of the year, unless it's a lease or a power purchase agreement,
sure.
When you're selling rich clients, what is your perspective on being able to sell those people still?
Yeah, so I mean, that is definitely, first of all, right now, like if you want to go knock and get a lot of volume, like go knock a high income neighborhood, because the urgency's never been higher for them.
Yeah.
They usually never want to do something on someone else's terms. That's just how they are. Well, now you can use the big bad government to do it on your terms. With that being said, for next year, you have to paint the utility as the bad guy. The savings day one are not going to get these high-end clients excited. You have to get them to subscribe to the idea of a fixed price, a fixed increase if you're in a market that sells escalators, and energy independence. If you don't know how to sell battery, you're done.
So talk a bit about prepaid PPAs, because when I was in California selling out there, it's one of my favorite things in the world to sell. You're basically selling 25 years of savings right up front.
Sure.
And you're putting the tax credit directly in there.
Right.
How do you kind of pitch towards that, you know, the cash deal that so many reps are afraid of?
I would argue the prepaid PPA has never had more value because of battery now too, and the 25-year battery warranty. All that to say though, you just need to calculate a customer's return on investment. Typically, any rich customer thinks a double-digit return on investment is a good investment. So it's very simple. You just take their electric savings, multiply it by 12, divide it by the prepaid PPA price. That's their annual return on investment. And then you just tell them, hey, Mr. Customer, I assume you believe Edison or whatever utility company is gonna go up at least 5% every single year like they've done the last 30 years, right?
Yep.
Boom, well, let's look at how much of a return you're getting every single year.
Yeah.
Name a better investment that you know of that's this safe too.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, this is great.
The prepaid PPA cash deal is like, it blew my mind, because it's literally, I'm selling a customer, right, a $50,000 10 kilowatt system, which would normally be $5 a watt. Right. And now that's actually $7.20 a watt as far as total back in commission. And it's so much more digestible to the customer, because the tax credit, no matter how we explain it, there's that little portion in the back of the head, especially on the cash deal, where they go, am I really gonna get the money? But when you can show that savings immediately, it's fantastic.
I would even argue that they're not as worried about getting the money, is that they're saying, am I signing up for a hassle?
Yeah.
Is it worth it to go through all this to save money on my electric bill? Because let's be honest, their electric bill is low on their priority list. The prepaid PPA says, hey, we handle everything. We do everything. You're just paying for 5 years or 7 years or 10 years of electricity up front and never paying again.
Yeah.
They love that.
Makes sense. And that closes it up. What are the...
What's your favorite part?
Yeah. And wait, brain. All right. And that wraps it up. What was the most important thing that you learned in that entire video? Let us know in the comment section. More importantly, join us on one of our blitzes. Make sure to click down below, click subscribe, but most importantly, click on one of these two little videos. The YouTube algorithm's really figuring out exactly what you want to see.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice little twist.